Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to talk about overclocking. Now, we're not going to talk about typical overclocking that people associate with when it comes to like your CPU or your GPU, but we're going to talk about overclocking your display panel. Whether you have a 60 Hz, 144 Hz, or maybe even a 240 Hz, anytime you can add a higher refresh rate, the better, because essentially your games can run at higher FPS and you get smoother pictures and so on and so forth. That being said, results may vary, and they will vary quite widely depending on what panels you have, and they can even vary depending on the same panel. So you may have two of the identical model. One will overclock by 30%, one won't overclock at all. So when it comes to displays and monitors, it really is kind of a pretty big gamble, but you don't know until you try. So if you want to give it a shot, this is the method that you guys are going to use. What you want to do is you want to right click on your display, or on your desktop, you want to click on NVIDIA Control Panel. Now, I'm running NVIDIA here. I would imagine that the process for an ATI card should be similar, so you may be able to follow along and make the right associations, but for today, we're going to talk about NVIDIA. You're going to come down here, click on Change Resolution, and you'll notice that it obviously has selected your native resolution, which for this display is 2560 by 1440 at 60 Hertz. So right below is a customize button. So we're going to click on customize. It's going to bring up this create custom resolution to add items. So we're going to enable resolutions not exposed by the display, and we're going to create a custom resolution. So I want to leave this at 1440p because I want the most workspace I can get. But the one thing I'm more interested in is this refresh rate. So what you want to do if this is the first time doing it, typically you want to kind of increase this by small increments, maybe 2, maybe 5 at most, in terms of how far you want to take it, and then you're going to click on test at the bottom. I'm going to take this all the way to 80, because I know this panel can do 80 in OBS with OBS running. If I'm not actually streaming in OBS, when I change the resolution, I can take my panel all the way to 90, but we're going to roll with 80 for now and just kind of stick with it. I'm going to click on test. This is going to freeze for just a second, so hang tight. Okay, so test successful, custom resolution applied. Do you want to save this resolution? Absolutely. And now it shows up here, 2560 by 1440 at 80 Hertz. Now, what's very, very important, guys, is when you're going through this process, when you click that button for test, hands off keyboard, hands off mouse, and just let it sit. And the reason why you don't want to touch the keyboard or the mouse is because in case the resolution test fails, you want to let it sit for the 20 seconds, so then the NVIDIA control panel will revert back out to the prior resolution that you had set. If you happen to click on something somewhere, you can actually accept that resolution even though it didn't work, and you may be stuck with a dead black panel that you have to then go into like Windows safe mode in order to kind of revert stuff. So just be careful on that test step. Click on test. Like I said, hands off keyboard and mouse. Hang tight, let us do its thing. If the screen stays black, let it stay black for a little while, and after about 20 seconds, it should revert back out to the prior resolution. But once you find out the fastest refresh rate you can get, go ahead and click on the save. It'll save it, it'll put it in here, and you click on OK. And now you have your PC, you have your Ultra HD, but at the top, I've got a brand new resolution that is 2560 by 1440, and you'll notice the refresh rate has changed to 80 Hertz. So you select that, you hit apply. And there you go. Your configuration has changed. Would you like to keep these changes? Absolutely. And it's done. So the question is how do you test this? Because really you're sitting on your desktop, it looks exactly the same as it did before because it's just your refresh rate. Open up your favorite web browser, and then you want to go to a website called testufo.com. That's going to bring up this here. Now the website's going to go ahead and run some things on your screen. It's going to do a check, and it's going to identify that right now my refresh rate is set to 80 Hertz. I'm getting some stutter warnings. It's actually stuttered in the browser because I was over the one of my bookmarks. But you just let it sit, you let it run, it stays green, everything should be good, and it's a good website to test those refresh rates when you do go ahead and update them. So hopefully you guys found this video insightful. Hopefully you guys can get a few extra FPS or hertz out of your monitor, and hopefully it helps your games look just a little bit better. Until next time, my dudes, be excellent to each other. We're all we've got, and we'll see you next time. Peace.